enough being a single mother, but when you're a single mother to a child who has special needs or disabilities, just the thought of an absent father can really take its toll on a woman who already has her hands full with very little or even no time or energy for feeling any negativity towards her child's absent father, who probably isn't even aware of all the struggles the mother of his child copes with alone already. For example, dealing with meltdowns and all the stress she goes through and the frustration she might already feel from having strangers stare at her and give her child mean glares, people being unkind and misunderstanding, which could happen on a day-to-day basis depending on the severity of her child's needs. A mother of a child who has special needs can sometimes be subjected to some incredibly mean behaviour, and the last person she should add to that list is the father of her child. But unfortunately, even in these exceptional set of circumstances, it still happens. Here are 5 ways an absent father affects the mother of a child who has special needs and disabilities. 1. Neglect. When the father of a single mother's special needs child is absent, he is also guilty of major neglect. A father should be the person the mother can be able to trust, whether they're in a relationship or not, to listen to her regarding their child's needs and support her in attending to their child's needs. He should be the person she can trust to share her feelings about their child's needs without any hesitation or having any doubts, including when it comes to being able to release her vents or frustrations towards situations such as hospital appointments and the bad attitudes of other people. He should be there to defend her in certain circumstances, but unfortunately, in many cases, it's her having to defend herself and her child against him. 2. Anger. The anger and rage a single mother who has a child with special needs or disabilities can feel towards her child's absent father is like no other. With a special needs child comes great responsibility, no matter what the disability. And when it's all left on the single mother to manage alone, like the meltdowns and the difficulty in communicating with her child, or suffering from a lack of sleep, or maybe having a child who doesn't want to leave the mother's side, it can cause a single mother to become overwhelmed, even depressed. And not because her child is a burden, but because she's doing everything all by herself and she needs a break. Especially if she has more than one child. And if she does, that child could also be struggling with the situation too. And they might always be feeling like they just continue to come last all the time. Depression in single mothers of special needs children is so common, and these are the things that a good, strong father should be around to help and watch out for, not only for the mother of his child's sanity, but for his child's own safety and his child's feelings too. 3. Financial stress. It's seriously disgusting of fathers who don't financially support their children who have special needs. Believe it or not, there are actually some fathers out there who say that the single mother of their child already receives financial support such as disability living allowance from the government for their child, so what do they need to provide for? Now, allow me to break it down, because too many of these absent fathers don't even give the single mothers of their children a chance to explain, because they don't care enough and they don't want to understand that some children who have special needs and disabilities also have a life too. They have an independent life. And a massive part of their lives are going to be spent learning, exploring and achieving targets and moving forwards throughout their lives as independently as their disability allows them to. Now, throughout this journey, of course, money is going to be spent on activities and on things that will help them move towards their, goals and help them progress. And items will also break a lot more than in the average home. And things will also need to be replaced a lot more often too, such as their toys and, ripped up books, iPads, household ornaments. And for many single mothers, the repeated act of having to replace things can feel like a constant continuous battle of setbacks. Children who have special needs and disabilities also need more clothes. They're prone to having more accidents with using the bathroom and eating, and their clothes also wear and tear a lot more quicker too, especially if they're experiencing many meltdowns, which often take place on the floor. Now, there's some children who are also allergic to certain foods which are consumed daily by most of us, or they refuse to eat foods of certain textures, which can make a single mother's shopping quite costly. Meanwhile, the absent father of her special needs child is out there splashing his cash on designer clothes and taking women out to eat at the finest restaurants and then finishing off the night with £100 bottles of wine in a hotel room. Hell, some of them are even getting married. Now, I think that all governments should come down on absent fathers who have special needs children that they don't financially provide for 100 times harder than the average deadbeat dad. 4. Struggle. The struggle of many things, including confronting her own feelings about the father of her child truthfully, including the fact that he might be an absent father because he's ashamed and embarrassed by his special needs child, who could quite possibly be the most innocent and purest individual he could have ever known in his entire life. Many single mothers of children who have disabilities face the struggle of having to make so many sacrifices in their lives, such as having a career that would be too demanding of them, or having a relationship that would require too much of their time, or having friends that aren't as understanding or are too judgmental, or having fun, being able to just go out at night, which would mean finding a babysitter. Now, for most mothers, this would naturally mean having their own mothers step in. But however, for some women, this isn't always possible, and when it comes to babysitting, they might not be able to find somebody who can help, or they might have trust issues and won't be able to leave their kids who have extra needs with just anybody they know, let alone someone they don't know who's from an agency. And who can blame them with everything that's going on in the world these days? So they basically end up having to sacrifice their own lives in order to be the amazing, focused, full-time mothers and caregivers to their special needs children. Now, if an absent father and his family were around to share the responsibilities of tending to this child's needs, then this would massively help and enable the mother to get her life. Shout out to all the people who support the single mothers of special needs children, and shame on you absent fathers and the families behind them. 5. Stress. From emotional rollercoaster rides of breaking down in tears or experiencing emotional outbursts which are full of anger, suffering from depression to her hair falling out, feeling major mood swings trying to meet the daily demands of her child as well as within the home, from feeling isolated by friends or family who just don't understand or don't care, which always brings her mind back to the fact that the father of her child doesn't really care either, and inside she's probably secretly dying for his intervention. The stress of it all on a bad day can even make her mother question why she had her child in the first place, and it's a part of feeling resentment. I don't care what anybody else says. Every single special needs mother has experienced resentment before at some stage, even if it's only lasted for a few seconds. The single mother of a special needs child is a teacher. She has to reteach and re-educate her child over and over again until the lessons are learned. And sadly for some, lessons just can't be learned. Meanwhile, the single mother has to stay positive throughout all of this and reinforce positivity into her child as well during the whole tiring process. The single mother of a child with special needs or disabilities faith is always being tested, and I'm speaking from experience with the journey I've been on with my teenage daughter Savannah, which you can read about by simply googling Savannah Dolor. Savannah has also written a book for children sharing her story, which is called Never Stop Trying, and that's our family motto, along with the word winning and do it. Yeah, we actually make up miniature songs of motivation and encouragement. Shout out to my son Darren as well, who is just an amazing brother to his big sister. He's kind, he's caring, he's supportive, and I just know my son is going to grow up to be a real man, unlike his father. Now, although there are many hard times as a single mother to a child who has extra needs, there are also many, many priceless moments, like meeting milestones and just having experiences you'll never forget. I'm going to end this video with a message to each and every mother who is taking care of special needs and disabled children without fathers involved. I know that half the time, some of you women can't truly get to be yourselves. You're either too exhausted or you're fighting to stay alert, and there's always something to do. And you probably don't even get any peace to yourself until it's lights out, which is also probably when you let the tears flow. Because while your special needs child's emotions are on show, yours have to stay hidden. And you don't even know how to get your own needs met emotionally, which can cause you to lose your cool and just even unleash overwhelming frustration on people who don't deserve it. But I want you all to remember that you're not alone in this. There are so many mothers out there with similar challenges, and most just don't really speak about them, but I will. And I want all mothers of special needs children to know that they are superheroes. Every day you great mothers manage situations and get to solutions that many regular mothers would find it impossible to cope and come up with. You were chosen to be a special mother because you are a strong woman. Believe my words, the Most High does not give this job to just anybody, so please continue to keep the faith, ladies.